You need to start thinking different about your melodies. Most likely, you want to make them unique by adding more layers, effects and instruments, but I bet someone already made something similar. Now, how about cutting unnecessary crap and turning simple things into evolving otherworld soundscapes, which doesn't sound like a melody at all. I get it, it's not for everyone and every part of your track. Like a drop, for example. Drops need to hit hard. But how to fill the blank space between them? Yeah, sounds like a collab with 5-year-old making his first beat ever, but we're gonna fix that with 2 new effects from the legend himself, Ben Jordan and Lunacy Audio. With all my love to live stock echo, taps are about to become my go-to delay. Most controls feel like home, until you touch this switch. Multiply works like a normal delay, but once you switch to divide, yeah, whatever time you set, it fits into a single tap. Next ones are even better, but it's not a walkthrough video, so let me show you them in action. First we're gonna go to the normal delay, so let's click to multiply, then switch the time, and then work with cluster. And we can also adjust the skew parameter. And then work with fade. So we can basically make the first tap a little bit louder and then the rest are fading out, or in opposite. Which basically cancels the delay, but once you switch to divide and play with delay time, you can get a really cool effect. Maybe increase the taps. At this point it kind of feels like a grain plugin, so let's adjust the feedback and bring it up, then the stereo and maybe a little bit of ping pong. As much as we can call it a classic use of delay, I bet you never thought of using it as an instrument. But that's exactly how I turned this perk loop into an ARP. So first I play with pitch, which is actually the second tap of taps. You can obviously change the semitones, but what makes this effect even more cooler is that you can switch to different modes. That's essentially a little bit like a perk loop still. This one could be fine by switching intensity up, but I guess the comp one fits the best here. Obviously with taps you can introduce some classic delay things like a little bit of tape wow, a little bit of flutter, dust and all that good stuff. Which in this case actually introduces a little bit of rhythm to it, which I really like obviously. Once I increase the feedback, we can turn it into a cool riser. And you know what, as I listen to it more and more, I think it actually fits better than the real ARP are used. And I got a feeling that once I drop it into the drop section, it can actually make a drop melody too. Taps alone can make you feel like you're about to put NASA to shame by bending space and time with less than 1% of their computing power. But it gets even better while used inside Beam. And since we are inside Beam, let's talk about a second new effect. The idea is old but gold. Controlled feedback loops. I actually made a video about it with a free rack to set it up inside Live with stock tools, but this one is as simple as dragging Portal's heel. And the coolest thing that you already can hear the feedback, but we can adjust its timing by dragging this knob. Which makes a little bit more sense and sounds a little bit more like a classic feedback once you unsync it and then play with this time. But that's just the feedback effect alone. So how about maxing out on feedback? And we already can have some cool sound design bits. In case you stumble upon something like this, all you gotta do is to click the panic button. And don't forget that you can also use LFOs and envelopes built inside Beam. Let's utilize LFO 1, that assign it to one of those parameters, like for example cluster. Change this to unipolar, and then decrease the depth. So yeah, by playing with those effects randomly, you can totally stumble upon some happy accidents. Totally planned moves, so people can think you know what you are doing. But the thing is that what I done here is just an elementary way to use it. Just look at some of those presets. And don't get fooled by me using it Melodies alone, since real fun starts after using it as a real sound design tool for single sounds, vocals, or even drums. Then resampling it and never touching grass again.